So I have an uncle like Irvin Magic Johnson, the Los Angeles Lakers icon. Now, my uncle's not five, 600, 700, $800 million up, maybe even a billionaire. My uncle's doing well in life. He's not a billionaire though, or not close to it. But what I meant is my uncle's personality is very much similar to Magic Johnson's. I bring that up for a reason. Magic Johnson is the easygoing, seemingly lovable dude in the room, can literally warm up a room with his smile alone, right? I think he's the greatest and worst tweeter of all time, but in large part that's because of how big and polarizing and infectious it seems like this brother's personality is. Here's the thing. Like my uncle, when that guy gets mad, you know it really took something to get him there. Or when that guy finally comes out and says something noteworthy, you know, oh, wow, somebody must have really got under his skin, teed him off. He doesn't go there often, right? Irvin Magic Johnson did a very rare and random interview this week with ESPN's Get Up. He's really not promoting anything to the best of my knowledge. I mean, he's Magic Johnson. Life is great. But he did an interview, and one of the bigger focal points was Magic talking about the Lakers and their woes as we enter the last week of the season. Lakers about to miss the postseason. And they're missing it with guys named LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook as the premier names of the franchise. Lakers still, with all that being said, about to miss the playoffs. We are where we are. Magic delivered some comments, though. Y'all know I usually put the quotes on the screen, but I'll just summarize here. Pretty much Magic went out on a limb and told ESPN's own Mike Greenberg that if the Lakers had wanted to last offseason, they could have gotten Buddy Hield, DeMar DeRozan, and Alex Caruso instead of bringing in Russell Westbrook. Now, me being the basketball nerd that I am, I remember last year's offseason, and I'm not 100% sure if all of that could have happened financially, but according to Magic Johnson, all things were good to go with DeMar DeRozan, who was a free agent last summer, ended up signing with the Chicago Bulls, until, according to Magic, I'm summarizing here, he says LeBron and company got involved and ended up making a last-minute play at Russell Westbrook. And the Lakers ended up, letting LeBron have what he wants. That's how Russell Westbrook ended up as a Los Angeles Laker. So, again, I want to be clear. I don't know if Magic was 100% right about the Lakers being able to get DeRozan, Buddy, and Caruso. If you think about how that would have worked logistically, I mean, the Lakers would have had to get Buddy Hield. The Kings wanted, remember, they wanted Kyle Kuzma, and to get it to work financially, the Lakers couldn't make a move until Montrezl Harrell opted in to his contract, which a lot of us expected him to opt out. He ended up opting in, I believe it was around $9.7 million, which allowed the Lakers to be able to trade for Buddy Hield, for Kyle Kuzma and Montrezl Harrell pretty much. Lakers back out of that trade last minute. They go big fish hunting with the bigger name in Russell Westbrook. Now, according to Magic Johnson, he's claiming that last-minute play came because of LeBron James enforcing his power. Keep in mind, Magic Johnson, one of his closest friends is Jeannie Buss, the active owner of the Los Angeles Lakers. And it looks like Magic and Rob Pelinka are no longer friends. Remember, Magic was working as the president of the Lakers organization a couple years ago until he told everybody during that pregame interview, I'm not going to be here. And then it was that on that. Rob took over. The Lakers won the championship. Give Rob credit. I thought he did a fantastic job year one. I was not amused with Rob Pelinka's job. I was not pleased with the job that he did last offseason. And if Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss allow LeBron James to get in their ear and say Westbrook over Buddy, DeRozan, and Caruso, If that is a real thing, if Magic is on the money with that, or let's just say if it were possible to get DeRozan instead of Westbrook, somebody deserves to lose their job over a decision like that. And I'm not talking about Frank Vogel. We'll talk about him more in a different video. I feel some type of way about that as a Los Angeles Lakers diehard. I have the ultimate respect for LeBron James, the basketball player. I have always been up and down on LeBron James, the general manager. And I want y'all to bear with me here. LeBron James picks players to play with like he's playing NBA 2K. To me, he hadn't been the greatest at finding the right personalities to fit with himself. One thing I give LeBron the ultimate credit for is the brother seemingly is very forgiveful. You know, he doesn't seem to be a guy that holds a lot of venom against people or holds on to feuds and beefs long term. He seems to be a guy that's a loving dude, right? I mean, he's a parent, father of 3. He's a husband. Just seems to be a guy who's mature in that approach to things. Like, he don't let feuds last forever. He'll apologize. He'll come hug you. He'll let things go even when past players have talked about him bad in the past. LeBron doesn't hold on to things like that. And that's a good businessman, by the way, right? Good business people let stuff go. They have a short fuse. They don't allow things to build up and manifest for long-term detrimental to yourself. That seems to be a trait of LeBron James. But when I'm looking back on it, yes, on paper, LeBron, D. Wade, and Chris Bosh fit seamlessly. But dang, D. Wade was unhealthy. That was one of those things where at one point, apparently LeBron was finding out 5, 10, 20 minutes before a game that his right-hand man, Dwayne Wade, wasn't playing. Under no circumstance should LeBron find out that Dwayne Wade wasn't playing last minute. He's LeBron James, damn it. Go back to Cleveland with Kyrie and Kevin Love. Who would have thunk of that Kyrie would check out on Cleveland? LeBron handpicked going back to Cleveland to play with Kyrie Irving. LeBron set off some of the personality dysfunctions we've seen in Kyrie over his career. Kevin Love admittedly has dealt with some very serious mental issues after playing with LeBron James. If you go to L.A., he picks Anthony Davis. They win a championship. Anthony Davis didn't barely play a game since they won that championship, damn near. Has he played 50 games since then? LeBron picks teams that fit well on 2K and maybe can get you somewhere for a year or two, but long-term, these bad boys have not worked out for the King. And it looks like the Russell Westbrook experiment didn't even get you the 1 year. I kind of believe I know what LeBron was thinking when he envisioned the Russell Westbrook signing. Let me get a guy that could come in and play more times tonight. He's durable as me. Let me get a guy that could come in, even if Anthony Davis misses time in the regular season. I got a guy that could still win us some regular season games with me. I got a guy that's available and, more importantly, accessible night in, night out, in Russell Westbrook, who has a history of being that throughout his career. But Russell Westbrook is lesser of a talent than LeBron thought on the court. Like, his chemistry issues are even worse than I'm assuming LeBron may have even thought, and Anthony Davis remains injury-prone. It hadn't worked out in L.A., and if I'm reading Magic correctly, he's trying to give some of that blame. He's trying to remove it from his friend Jeannie Buss and put it on LeBron James and maybe even an Anthony Davis more. Keep in mind, Magic is friends with Jeannie. There could be some bias there. It doesn't seem to be Magic is cool with Rob Pelinka after their situation there in Los Angeles. But there's some interesting stuff going on. When Magic Johnson, just like my uncle, when they talk and when they say something of importance, I listen. Magic don't come out and throw people under the bus often. He's usually got that smile on his face. He went out of his way on ESPN's Get Up this week to throw LeBron under the bus for choosing Russell Westbrook over DeMar DeRozan, who, by the way, has admitted that he wanted to be a Los Angeles Laker. He got California roots, grew up a Laker fan, but unfortunately it didn't work out because the Lakers were unwilling to give him 1 year extra on his deal and apparently meet some of his other demands as they chose Westbrook over him.